Welcome one and all to another edition of the Defo Show with Lubie here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, brought to you by Water Cleanup of Florida. The rains are here. It's that time of the year where we're going to have rain, if not every day, near every day. And you know that does wreak havoc on our home, in our office. And in the past, as I've talked about many times, that would have stressed me out. But thank goodness for Water Cleanup of Florida, because I know no matter what happens, whether water or fire damage to my home or your office, Water Cleanup of Florida will take care of it. First of all, just this is the number you need to know. 954-579-0356. Again, with over 60 years of combined experience between Michael, Robert, George, their entire team, they really know what they're doing. And when it comes to service industry, most companies have a clue, but communications is as important as getting the job done. They are as communicative as any service company I've ever worked with, I've ever dealt with. And on top of that, they do a phenomenal job. Plus, with licensed, insured, certified contractors, they'll not only fix your issues, they'll make them look brand new. Again, 954-579-0356. Check them out on the website, WCUFL.com, or on any of the socials as well, at Water Cleanup FL. Plus, Google loves them. They love Google. You'll love them from looking at their Google reviews. Over 85-star reviews on Google. Water Cleanup of Florida, I'm telling you, if you have the schmutz, they have the guts. Again, 954-579-0356. 2, get in touch with Water Cleanup of Florida. Tonight is the night for game number 2 for the Miami Heat. We talked about it with the man who will be on the call for TNT. Heat versus Knicks, the one and only Iron Eagle. Talked to us about the Heat, where they are after game 1, and what to look forward to in game 2, plus Jimmy Butler's injury, Julius Randle's injury, and what's going on with the Heat versus Knicks right now with us, the Defo Show with Lubie, Iron Eagle, on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
This guy, it's only a matter of time before you hear him talking about a tradition like no other. He's been closing in on a lot of the premier jobs there at CBS for a long period of time, and you can always hear him from Amen Corner saying, "Hello, friends." As we welcome a great friend of the program, the great Iron Eagle joins us here on the show. Ian, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Defo Lubie? What's happening?
Good morning.
How easy would it be compared to what you're doing now with all the names that you have to become familiar with? And, you're doing football and basketball and college basketball, to just say Tiger for par and then lay out for like another 15 minutes.
I actually ended up doing the Masters for 6 years. It was on their
Is that right?
Really?
DirecTV, CBSSports.com, PGA.com. That's when they started having all those feeds. The Amen Corner live feed is what I was assigned to. I had never been to a golf tournament in my life. I never attended one. And the first golf tournament that I went to was the Masters to work that event. So it was very cool, I must say, very unique. Every hole is like a postcard. Everything that you see on TV is real. It feels very much historic when you're walking the grounds. But I will add this part to it. You have to stay in people's homes. There are not enough hotels to house all of the broadcasters, media, and staff. So one of the years, and it all depends on who your roommates are and where you rate. One of the years, I slept in a 5-year-old's racing car bed. I mean, that's what I came down to.
Did Shirkinian ever admit to piping in the bird noise? Or,
No,
can you tell us if the birds
during
were
my
real?
watch. No, not during my watch. They had real birds when I was, as far as I know.
All right, let's get down to the real matters here. Obviously you're going to be doing the Heat Knicks game tomorrow. I don't know, were you at the game yesterday? First game of the series? No,
okay. Just watched it on TV.
All right. Well, then you probably noticed, as we did, that I don't know that the fans in the Garden were ever as stunned. I mean, it has to go all the way back to when it was announced prior to the start of the match that Bruno Sammartino's plane was late. And Arnold Skolin was going to be in the grudge match against Gorilla Monsoon. And the faces in the crowd were, I mean, horrified that, oh, my God, Skolin, the golden boy from White Plains, who would never won a match, was going to be in the place of the great Bruno Sammartino. Of course, legend would have it, Sammartino showed up late and beat Monsoon, saving the life of Skolin in the process. But have you ever seen New York fans as stunned as they were after they fell apart in the second half yesterday?
Yeah, it's amazing, Defo. You knew exactly what I was thinking.
That exact reference.
Man, I thought to myself, no one's going to see this. And then, boom, there's Defo with the perfect description of what took place. Not dated at all, not esoteric.
No. Sammartino, think about that.
The money, as usual. No, that took a turn. The way that the Garden was juiced up to open up the game, the first quarter into the second quarter, and even as Miami closed the gap at the end of the first half, you could sense a little bit of nervousness and tentativeness. And then third quarter, it just turned, and it got really quiet. I thought Kevin Love came in and made some things happen. Butler was tremendous throughout, right up until the injury, and even the question marks after the injury, that the Knicks did not attack him and did not look to go at him. Whoever he was defending, at least instinctually, should have had the ball in his hands at some point on those next three possessions where they turned it over three straight times. So interesting what the adjustments are going to be. Interesting to see if Jimmy can even play in game two, or if the coaching staff, Eric Spoelstra, decides, hey, look, we got the split. Let's not push this. Let Jimmy Butler recover. Let him get some days off. And you see how the series is set up. They don't play again until Saturday.
They get 6 days
that's
off.
Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
Thursday,
a beautiful thing.
Friday off. So it'll go Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. So you definitely want to make sure your guys are ready for that.
Nick, fans and the press were looking to run Tom Thibodeau out of town beginning of the season. They weren't exactly lighting the world on fire. Later on, they fell in love with the guy. But the thing with Thibodeau, doesn't he look like, I don't know if you've ever been out, I would imagine this has happened to you, where you're seeing the guys going either out of or back to the central location for all the hot dog carts. And you see a guy on a rainy, cold, wintry day just pushing this hot dog cart, and you're thinking, this poor schlep, I hope he made a couple of hundred today. Is Thibodeau morphing into one of those guys, Emily, just from an appearance standpoint?
He's a great guy to talk to, I got to tell you, when
you
sit down with him. Yeah. He's a basketball savant. He's actually got a really good sense of humor. And he's a lifer. Like this has really, truly been his life. And to be at this stage of his career, to finally get some credit, because you're right. The way the season started, Knicks fans were not feeling the vibe, and there were different parts of the season where the same could be said. And to see this team actually emerge the way that they did, play a fun style of basketball. Julius Randle not being there, certainly an issue. Miami's got their own injury issues without Tyler Herro, without Victor Oladipo. But I think this team has been resilient, and knowing what I've known from Jalen Brunson this season, I would be surprised if he lays back-to-back eggs. I think they'll come back strong, and the Knicks will look more like the team that you saw against Cleveland in Game 2.
Seems like with all the sabermetrics analytics, a lot boils down to three-point shooting percentage. The Knicks literally spray hitting as if it was a ballistic missile test in North Korea with Kim Jong-un. I had to work that in by obligation. Where these missiles could land anywhere. I mean, one hits the Eiffel Tower, and Un is sitting there going, I didn't know anything about that. What are you talking about? They were horrible in this game one. And that was not atypical of the way they shot the ball from three in the regular season. They were among the worst teams, as were the Heat, oddly. But things seem to have changed for the Miami Heat. All of a sudden, it's no longer Stevie Wonder pulling the trigger on those three-point shots.
Yeah, so your over-under today was 1.5 dictators. So you're
almost there. You're right. Then.
Believe me, I couldn't sleep until I thought about this. Knowing you were coming on the show.
You had to work that in.
Yeah.
The Stevie Wonder reference, I didn't have that, so that could be a new over-under that we developed. Ray Charles may come up. I don't know. It might,
Feliciano is the next on the list. Yeah.
Oh, Jose Feliciano.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant anthem he did that time. Yeah.
The way the league is set up now, three-point shooting is such a big part of this current style of basketball. And I don't know if you guys watch Game 7, Golden State, Sacramento. An incredible display, right? Steph Curry, 50 points. The guy is brilliant. I think we may even take for granted his greatness in some ways, just because he's made it seem so normal and regular to hit three-pointers from every possible angle, to do it off one leg, off-balance shots. Add to the fact with Curry, by the way, he's not just a three-point shooter. This is not Kyle Korver. This is someone that gets to the rim, that has these incredible spins around the rim. So a guy that's not large, but finds a way, a creative way to finish. And then what he's doing as a point guard still has to be applauded. But the larger scope that you were talking about is three-point shooting in this series. And it may come down to that. It just might be as simple as that. Who shoots better per game in that category? Miami was 33%. That would not be considered outstanding by any stretch in NBA playoff standards. The Knicks were 21%.
Yeah.
And even if you look at some of the other numbers, guys, the Knicks shot 48% from the field. Miami shot 42% from the field. Free throw shooting problem for the Knicks. 12 of 20, 8 misses at the line. Miami missed 6, but they took 29. Yeah. Miami got out-rebounded in the game, 48-39, but they only turned it over 9 times. Yeah. I think Eric Spoelstra is one of the best guys doing it in the NBA. I think he understands matchups really well. And when you put him in these situations, as we've seen during championship runs with incredible talent, yes, but even the bubble and other playoff runs, including last year, where they don't have the bomb squad that some other teams have. They find a way. They always find a way. So that's a real thing. That Heat culture is very much a tried and true phenomenon and philosophy that Pat Riley has put in, and it's still working all these years later. All these guys that weren't drafted, that's what blows me away, that Gabe Vincent can score 20 points in an important playoff game, and that Caleb Martin will play minutes that matter, and Max Strus has a legitimate role on this team. And you can go on and on and on. This is nothing new for the Heat. They just keep doing it, and they tend to do it better than everybody else.
So you said something I find interesting. You talked about are we taking Steph Curry for granted? And then I almost did it myself by asking about the Warriors and Lakers. Then I remembered, oh, shoot, the Denver Nuggets are the 1 seed still. They demolished the Suns. Are we taking them for granted? Because the Suns, they go and get Durant, but they only play 8 games in the regular season together. Now I guess they played like 13 games together. The Lakers now, Devo's favorite with LeBron and AD. The Warriors, the defending champions who finally are winning on the road. The Nuggets have won the whole year. They've won the whole playoffs. For once, Murray, Gordon, and Porter Jr. are staying healthy, and they have possibly the best player in the NBA in Jokic. Talking about taking for granted, is that what we're doing with the Nuggets? Like, why are we totally disregarding the Nuggets? And I hear no one talking about them at all.
Yeah, I think they've been disregarded because of past failures, and we tend to look at what the team has done before. Now, the difference, Jamal Murray is healthy and motivated and looking like an all-NBA performer. And that man has been money throughout this postseason, and I don't see anybody on the Phoenix Suns that can stop him. The Suns are not very deep. Sure, they've got the star power with Durant and Booker and an aging Chris Paul, but the pieces don't seem to fit together. And I know it's only just one game, but there were concerns going into this series. The Suns had trouble with a seriously undermanned LA Clippers team that just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And although the series just went 5 games, a few of those games could have gone the other way, and I think that's what raised some concerns about Phoenix moving forward. Denver's a team. Denver's done this all year, and the Nuggets have been building towards this. Anything short of a conference finals appearance is going to be trouble in Denver, and maybe even trouble for the head coach. Mike Malone's done an excellent job there, but as we know, patience is something that isn't always part of the thought process when it comes to ownership groups because they want results. This team has the look of a team that could 100% go to the NBA Finals, but if you still have Golden State in there or the LA Lakers, I don't know if they'll be favored in that series. So to your point, Lubie, you're right. I do think a lot of NBA fans are sleeping on Denver because it's just not a really sexy pick. The interesting part, I don't know if you guys caught this note, but it's never happened in NBA playoff history. We're in the second round of the NBA playoffs. Every seed is represented.
Yeah.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First time it's ever happened where every seed has advanced to the next round in the NBA playoffs. So that shows you that, in my mind, the NBA has actually gotten what they've always wanted, which is parity. And it's been hard to get there because they're the haves and the have-nots in the NBA. And for a change, the have-nots have caught up a bit.
All right, the Eagle with us here on the show. How solid? I mean, it just continues to amaze that at one time our expert basketball analyst, Mike Lubie was in favor of drafting Justice Winslow over Devin Booker. And that seemed like a very solid opinion after the Clippers series when Booker averaged like 45 a game and was sensational at both ends of the court. All right, one final thing. Can you touch on, I mean, everybody thinks that the Philadelphia Eagles have cemented their position as the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year by annexing the Georgia Bulldogs as a minor league team. Is that legal? And then second, I don't know how much of the draft or how involved you were with this. I mean, I would imagine you were, interested in the coverage. What level of sincerity would you rate Roger Goodell's hugs of the 31 guys that were selected in the first round?
Let me take the first question first.
Yeah.
And that would be, yes, it is legal. It is clearly legal.
Yeah.
We do see teams that fall in love with certain college teams, and it's happened with Alabama. Teams will just flood the market and just take Alabama player after Alabama player and just assume these guys are ready for the NFL, and oftentimes they are. Philadelphia, they've been very strategic. Howie Roseman, give that guy a lot of credit. He has a great feel for the dramatic, and he also knows how to build a team. And any of the behind-the-scenes footage, I don't know how much of it you've seen, but he's very good at this, and he knows what he's doing, and he's got a human touch, and even dealing with the players. There was a late-round pick that didn't appear that he was going to get drafted, and Roseman's on the phone with him and tells him that he's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle, and had a dramatic pause and allowed the kid to start crying because it was the realization of a dream. And there's a human touch there. Like Howie, I must salute what he's done with his career and how he continues to do it year in and year out. And they've been really smart and prudent in how they use their picks and how they gather picks and how they make trades. He's the most active of anybody in the NFL in terms of trades and getting talent back that fits a need. DeAndre Swift, that fits a need, and he recognized the market. He got in there, and I don't even think he gave up all that much to do it. So first part of it, yes, Philadelphia's got a chance to be good for a long time. Jalen Hurts is very dedicated to his craft, and as long as he can stay healthy, he's still a runner, and we know that in this league, if you put yourself out there, someone is going to try to take a shot at you. So that would be my one concern with him. For Goodell, what started out as kind of a little funny aside has turned into something more. It's amazing that these guys, I think they want their moment. They want that picture. They want that memory. And it actually, to me, has been pretty cool that there is that level of excitement and celebration for these young guys realizing their dream, and Goodell happens to be a part of it at this point.
I would imagine. I know you got to run, but if it ever comes to Miami or Tampa or Jacksonville, Ron DeSantis will have some law making it illegal for these two men to hug on stage. He's already working on Congress.
Let's wait. Let's wait on that one. Because some would say that might be the over that you just hit for your.
I think we got it.
Original. Yeah, for your original
he
pick.
Did it.
Yes.
He did it.
You've been a sport, Ian, and always great.
We'll
enjoy your call of the game tomorrow on TNT. The Knicks and the Miami Heat. A very critical game here in the Heat's quest to make it even further into the offseason and what is a Cinderella ride right now. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for being with us.
All right, Defo, I'm going to have a Sabret hot dog on the way to the garden just for you.
Thibodeau could be that guy you discover there,
yeah.
where you know, some relative that you haven't seen in years. You're like, Uncle Joey, what are you doing selling hot dogs on the street?
Exactly. I'm going to come through the Lincoln Tunnel. I'm just going to get out of the car and start walking to find the right guy with the car. You're right.
He just looks up at you and says, onions? And you're like, what is this, raftery also? I mean, get out of here. All right, thanks.
Appreciate it. Defo, Lubie, all the best. See you.
Always a pleasure. Iron Eagle, ladies and gentlemen.
We always have such a blast with Iron Eagle. Look, if you follow sports at all, you know that name. He does the NFL for CBS. He does college basketball for CBS. He is the voice of the Brooklyn Nets. He also does Westwood One, some radio for NFL, and he does NBA with TNT. He will be on the call tonight for the Heat and the Knicks. He's also a really funny guy, and on air he's pretty funny when he does the game, but when he comes on with us, it's a blast. We throw a lot at him, and he just bobs and weaves and goes right along with it. He has been very... I don't know if he's a New York guy. He doesn't the Jets preseason games, by the way, as well. But he knows the league really well. He's been covering and calling games in the NBA for decades. And I don't know if he's high on the Heat, but he's very honest about the Heat. Like, this has been an interesting run by the Miami Heat. And Jimmy Butler, we're not sure what he is, but word is today that he's trying to get out there. And now with Brunson and Randle banged up, look, I get it. The Heat are up 1-0. They're going to, at worst, have a split. And you don't risk Jimmy Butler. I wouldn't risk Jimmy Butler. But if Jimmy Butler's okay, Jimmy Butler can go out there, you test him, you see what he is, and if he can play, cool, and if he can't, he can't. We'll see what happens tonight. I am very anxiously awaiting tonight's game. I'm not sure what to do. Also, Florida Panthers break out their second-round series. Yes, they're in the second round after upsetting the number 1 overall ever after a regular season, the Boston Bruins. The Panthers head up to Toronto and take on the Maple Leafs tonight. So we have a full board of playoff action down here out of South Florida. The Heat, the Panthers. We will talk about all of it tomorrow morning on Defo on 5 right here. Be sure to check that out each and every day. We do Defo on 5 on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We'll also do our own show on South Florida Live from 7 to 9 each and every day. And we have national podcasts on the Believe Network. Talked with South Florida. We will talk with, I talked with, supermodel, yes, the one and only Kathy Ireland, supermodel turned super mogul. Kathy Ireland, Laura Morton have a new film coming out in select theaters this Friday, Anxious Nation. It's very interesting, sounds very entertaining, and very informative. So check out Anxious Nation. Check out my conversation with, yes, the one and only Kathy Ireland and Laura Morton, who's directing Anxious Nation on the Believe Network, BLEAV.com. Search After Hours. You can check us out here on Many a Day with our South Florida content, The Defo Show with Lubie, on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style. And you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.